Now we shall start discussing the typical questions for critical reasoning verbal. The first question is called assumption question, which means it will be in the form of which of the following, if true, which of the following is an assumption made by the author, which of the following is implied by the author, etc. Explanation is there is some kind of paradox, some kind of anomaly, inconsistency, which you have to explain or reconcile. Evaluation is asking you for which of the following would be more helpful in evaluating the argument. Here you are not finding out anything fault or anything. You are just saying what more additional knowledge would be helpful in evaluating the argument. Next we come to one of the commonest questions, which is find out the weakness or flaw in the argument. Which of the following is a weakness of the argument? Strengthen, support means which of the following would make the argument stronger, which of the following would support the argument, and finally bolded statement, which is a very rare question type in which you are given a statement which is partially in bold or completely in bold. More than one statement can also be bolded in the argument. Now let's take the example that I gave earlier once again. Everyone should exercise John exercises John is healthy. Now, which of the following is an assumption made by the author? So there are actually two assumptions, but you will get in the options only one of them, that whatever happens to John is going to happen to others, or exercise and nothing else is the cause of John's health. Explanation, if there is a paradox, sometimes they give us arguments which seem as if they don't make sense. So there is some kind of anomaly or paradox in it. So we have to find out the answer which will explain why there is this seeming paradox. So we can have another argument like this. World food production is increasing in record quantities. However, world hunger is also increasing at the same rate. So, which of the following would best explain? Which of the following would best explain this contradiction? Now see, and they will always have if true. Okay, so you have to hypothesize that this is true. We cannot argue against the statements made by the author, which are called premises. So when he says that world food production is increasing in record quantities, that is his premise. We cannot say that how do we know that it is increasing in record quantities, or how do we know that world hunger is also equally increasing. We can't question his premises. These are the premises. So which of the following? So now let us take the 5 possible answers. The food is tasteless. The food is very expensive, very costly. 3. The food is difficult to digest. The food is not easily available. And finally, the food takes very long to cook. Now we have 5 options here. Our aim when answering a question should be to get a split of 3-2. So we should at least eliminate 3 options. Now, does it make sense not to eat something which will prevent you from dying of starvation only because it is tasteless? Do you care about the taste? Obviously, that is not the reason the world food hunger is increasing. Second, it is very costly. That could be a possible answer, because people may not be able to afford the food, which is why they are dying even though the food is there. It is difficult to digest. It is difficult to digest. Again, if it's a question of life or death, people will take some medicines or try to digest it in some way or the other. The food is not easily available. This could be a possible answer. The food takes very long to cook. Again, if it's a question of life or death, nobody cares how long it takes to cook, they will cook it. So now we are left with 2 likely options. The food is very costly and food is not readily available. Okay, so the food is not ready. Of the 2, if you have to have food because it is a necessity, you will buy it, steal it, get it anyway, but still eat it. But if it is not only available to you, if the distribution is not worldwide, how will you eat the food? So obviously it's because it's not available, and it never says that it is only the poor who are dying. So that means the cost is not the issue here. The availability is the cause, that though there is so much food, equally there are so many, there's so much world hunger. Understood? This is the way you have to find out the answer. We'll discuss the other questions in our next session.